Alright, now, bear with me. The Romeo 5 by Sig Sauer and the Aimpoint Pro are really not on the same level, and the comparison really isn't that great, but I think it's worth talking about. If you want to put a red dot on your rifle, but you don't want to break the bank, these might be the two options that you're looking at. At least I was, and I couldn't really find any comparisons between these two optics. And that might be because, like I said, they're really not on the same level. But I wanted to make this video because I'm sure there are more people out there debating between these two red dots. The SIG Romeo 5 is probably the best budget red dot you can put on a gun for the price. Depending on where you find it, the price will range from $100 to $150. Whereas the Aimpoint is around $450 to $500. Yeah, that's a big difference. The Pro is not exactly a budget optic, but when considering the other offerings from Aimpoint like the Comp M4, M5, and T2s, they're all around $1,000, so this is budget when it comes to Aimpoint prices. Let's do a few comparisons. And I'm going to get a lot of this info directly from the user manual of each one so we have exact numbers. One thing I'll just get out of the way, you knew it was coming. The Romeo 5 by Sig Sauer is made in China. Does that make it bad? No. Does something have to be made in America to be good? Also no. Guess where the Aimpoint's made? Not in America. It's Sweden. So, does this being made in China make you question it a little bit? I think it tends to have that effect. At least with me and a lot of other people. When it comes to batteries, the SIG takes a 2032 battery here. Just goes right in the side here. Now the battery life, it's not super clear, and I'll explain why. SIG states that because of the MOTAC feature, motion activation, you'll get 40,000 hours over 4 years of battery life under normal use. Now what normal use exactly means, I'm not sure. They also don't specify which brightness setting will actually achieve those numbers either. What MOTAC does is, if you're holding the gun, the red dot's going to be on. Once you put the gun down, if you don't touch it for 2 minutes, it's going to shut itself off. And once you grab the gun again, just a small amount of motion, it's got the shake awake feature and it's going to turn itself on and the red dot's going to be there. Pretty cool feature, and that allows it to have a higher battery life than it would be if it was constantly on with the red dot. The Aimpoint takes a 1/3 N battery. It's kind of a stranger battery, but you can get a 3-pack on Amazon for $15, so it's not a big deal. This red dot is constantly on, unless you yourself turn it off. But no fancy MOTAC, it's just always on. And on setting 7, which is this one, it'll last for 30,000 hours, which is over 3 years on one single battery. And the battery goes in this cap right in the front here. And screw it in, just hand tight like that. Depending on what brightness you prefer, the battery will vary. So if you want it a little bit brighter, it's obviously not going to last as long. Now, a general rule a lot of people follow is just change the battery out once a year on all your optics. No big deal. Both of them do have a 2 MOA dot. Both have unlimited eye relief as red dots do. And the Aimpoint is essentially parallax free. And the SIG, although not 100% parallax free, it's negligible. Elevation up top, windage on the side. For brightness settings, the Romeo 5 has 10 brightness settings, with 2 of them being night vision compatible. You change it by pressing the plus or minus buttons up top. The Aimpoint has 10 settings, with 4 of them being night vision compatible, and this is changed by rotating the switch on the side. I'll show you the brightness settings without a bright light shining on them. So here they are at their brightest setting. You'll notice the edge of the red dot gets lit up because of how bright it is. And here they are both on setting 7, which is going to be a little bit more optimal for battery life. The Romeo 5 comes with these bikini covers, and the Pro comes with these flip-up covers with a clear rear. You can take them off if you wanted. Of course, you can keep the front cap down and still see the dot on target if you have both eyes open. Pretty cool stuff. Now, the weight of the sights are very obviously different. The Aimpoint is chunky. Out of the box, as you see it, it weighs 12.7 ounces, and the Romeo 5 weighs 5.1 ounces, so very obvious difference there, as the Aimpoint Pro is a lot bigger. And are they waterproof? Well, the Romeo 5 has IPX7 waterproofing, which basically means it's submersible 1 meter under the water. Now the Aimpoint Pro is submersible up to 50 meters, so 150 feet. So clearly the Pro is much better in that regard, much more waterproof. And the Aimpoint states that operational temperatures are from -49 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, while SIG does not supply that information for the Romeo. Now the mounting is definitely significant here. The Romeo 5 mounts in using a screw on the bottom here. A lot of people seem to dislike this mount, and that may be because if you ever take it off, it will not return to zero when you put it back on. But if you're just keeping this on the gun forever, you know, it's not going to be a huge issue. And the Aimpoint comes with their QRP2 mount here. You put it on the gun and they state to turn the knob until it snaps twice, and then it's properly torqued on there. And when you put it back on the gun, it will, in theory, return to zero. Definitely a nice mount. Some people aren't a big fan of the knob, but I haven't really found it to be an issue. Now when deciding between these two, there's a few factors to keep in mind. If you want a red dot to throw on your gun and bring to the range and you don't want to spend too much money, you're better off going with the Romeo 5. Like I said, for the price point, it's the best option, and if you had multiple guns you wanted a red dot on, you could buy 4 of these for the price of one Aimpoint Pro. But if you wanted a red dot that is extremely reliable, proven for decades in warfare, and a step into higher end optics, it may be worth putting some extra money for the Aimpoint Pro. Are you paying for the name? I think that plays a part, but it's got that track record. Now, if you want a red dot now and don't want to pay the money for an Aimpoint, it may be worth just getting the Romeo, using it for a while, and eventually upgrading to something like the Aimpoint Pro. At least that's what I did. And now I can go put this Romeo on a different gun. Well, that's going to be the video for today. Let me know your thoughts on the red dots down in the comments. Go ahead and like the video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.